Today's video was all about Google Pixel 10 Pro Fold versus Google Pixel 10 9 Pro Fold. You might have the 9 Pro Fold and you're thinking about upgrading. Should you upgrade to that phone or not? We're going to discuss that. I will say though, I think if you have the original Pixel Fold, I really think you should upgrade. I think there's definitely enough meat on the bone to upgrade for sure. So let's get into this and talk about this spec to spec. Now, the displays are very similar, 6.4 versus 6.3, and then 8-inch across the board for both of them, but they are brighter displays on the 10 Pro Fold, 3000 nits versus 2700 nits. I'll admit it's not a huge difference. I would guess in day-to-day, you're not gonna notice it. Even on side-by-side, I don't think you'll notice a lot of difference. So I would say if you're basing your facts off of upgrading because of the displays, I would say probably not. Now, the chipset inside Tensor G5 versus G4, there is a pretty big jump in that. Neither one of these are crazy powerful in terms of raw performance. You're basically going to go from probably medium type gaming to about medium high gaming, somewhere in that range because of the jump from the G4 to the G5. Your phone probably still feels really good, but if you're someone that's looking to keep one of these phones longer term, G5 for sure. So I would say maybe because of that. I'll go more in depth at the bottom, but security still the Titan M2, still getting 16 gigs of RAM. Storage gets a nice little upgrade. Now you're still getting 256, 512, and 1 terabyte, but it's going to UFS 4.0 from 3.1. So read-write speeds with your storage, copying files, editing, all that stuff is going to be improved. Now, cameras are basically, at least in terms of megapixels, basically the same. Now you are getting a 10x optical zoom on the new camera system versus 5x on the older one. So that might turn you off just a little bit, but ultimately I think cameras probably, the photos and videos probably look a little bit better on the 10 Pro Fold, but I don't think it's going to be anything drastic. The front camera's dual 10 megapixels. Battery gets a nice little bump from 4650 to 5015, so almost 400 more milliamps on the battery side. What's that going to equate out to? Probably, well, with the new processor, I guess as well, you probably get even more better efficiency. So you might get an hour or two more of battery life, but just in terms of the battery size itself, that's probably 30 minutes, 40 minutes of more battery life. But when you factor in the processor being more efficient and more powerful, it's probably going to equate to, I would guess, probably a fair bit amount more, a couple hours more. Charging, 30 watt wired and 15 watt wireless. Now that is an improvement on the wireless charging. It was 7.5, which is basically unusable unless you're charging overnight. It would take hours and hours and hours for that to charge. It's nice to see that you are getting 30 watts wired and then 15 watt on the wireless side with that Qi, and it's magnets in the back of the phone. That is excellent. So I love that they're adding magnets into this phone. I wish Samsung would put them back. I know iPhones have it. It's nice to have that without having to always get a case that has magnets in it. Durability, now IP68, it was IPX8, so it didn't have dust resistance, it had water resistance. Now it has dust and water resistance. This is a great upgrade. If you're someone that works in a dusty environment, you're gonna definitely wanna upgrade. It's a huge reason to upgrade. The build is aerospace grade aluminum versus just regular aluminum. Are you gonna notice a difference? Maybe, but it's hard to put my money on that one and say you would. Now, connectivity, Wi-Fi 7 across the board, Bluetooth 5.4 versus 5.3, NFC, USB-C 3.2. So the USB-C port might be a little bit faster this time around with transferring data and things like that. Dual SIM, satellite, SOS. Now, Android 16, they both have Android 16. I wouldn't put any merit on that. And they also get 7 years of OS updates. But remember, the Pixel 9 Pro Fold is a year older at this point. Now, the dimensions on these are going to be, when it's folded, it is a little bit thinner and a little bit wider as well. So keep that in mind, or taller, I should say. A little bit taller and a little bit thinner. The unfolded size now is going to be thinner, 5.8 versus 6.1. And it's also, all the other dimensions are about the same on there on the unfolded size. Weight, I believe it's less, but I could have swore it was less, but from this graphic that I have, it's saying it's about the same. Price, you're probably going to see a price increase due to tariffs and the phone being a little bit better, it's potentially going to be $18.99, but it might be $17.99, so I wouldn't worry too much about that. And plus, you can get a 9 Pro Fold for pretty cheap anyway, much cheaper than you can a 10 Pro Fold. So yeah, but upgrade if you need the IP68 dust and water resistance, which again, that's a big get, especially if you're in an environment where it's dusty and you like to take it underwater. It had water resistance, but the dust resistance is a big get. It's the first ever foldable with dust resistance, IP68 anyway. 3000 nit brightness, so you might be better for outdoor viewing. Is it going to be a huge change? I would say no, but it is brighter. Faster, more efficient, Tensor G5 processor, so you should get better battery life and definitely much better performance. It's like going from like over 6,000 on the multi-core score up from about 4,500 or so. And then you're also getting the faster UFS 4.0 storage. So just overall performance should be a little bit more snappy, but it was already really snappy with the 9 Pro Fold. Bigger battery with Qi 2 magnetic wireless charging. I love that, having better battery life, but also having the wireless charging with the magnets built into it, especially if you don't like to use a case. It's awesome. Potentially better zoom with the 10x and 1 terabyte storage option is going to help out, but you had that before. Why you'd want to stick with the Pixel 9 Pro Fold if you're satisfied with current performance and camera. You don't need to upgrade. Those are big plays in this. And then also you don't care about dust resistance or magnetic charging. Again, another reason to stick with there. And if you're also getting great performance in general, if like when you use the phone, it feels fast and fluid and you don't need to upgrade that because you're just so happy with everything, that's another reason. And do you really want to pay $1,800, or obviously you trade in, it will be less, but do you really want to pay all that and potentially have to pay all that money out of pocket? And you're at the end of the day, you're like, you know what, this feels so much the same. And physically, I don't think you're going to notice a lot of differences. That's another reason when people get these phones, they're like, oh, it doesn't feel that much different. Think about the iPhone year over year. It's pretty much the same. The Galaxy Z Fold 7, I should say, was a pretty big difference. It was lighter, bigger displays. This is basically the same size displays. The brightness is very similar. The camera system's pretty much the same. The look of the phone is the same. There's not a whole lot of difference, but I would say at the end of the day, if the things that I mentioned are heavy to you, then yeah, you should probably upgrade. It is the launch of all the Pixel phones, the Pixel 10s and the Pixel 10 Pro Fold. I'll specifically just talk about the Pixel 10 Pro Fold because I think that's what you guys want to hear about and learn about the most. The Pixel 10s, I like slab phones. They're just not terribly exciting to me all the time. If I'm going to get a slab phone, unless the company will send it to me, I usually buy the Galaxy S line. But yeah, let's talk about the Pixel 10 Pro Fold because I did pre-order mine and I'll tell you what I ended up getting. Now I have it linked down below. Now you can get it from the Google Store or from Best Buy. I have Best Buy linked down below because they are an affiliate of mine, but you get the same deal on both sites. So you can get on Best Buy, you get a $350 credit after you purchase the phone, or you can get $350 credit at Google Store. So pretty nice that you can get those big time credits. Now it does come in the colors of Moonstone and Jade, and I actually got the Jade color, which I don't know if we're gonna love that, but I'm actually curious what it's going to look like on there. It's interesting, I'll say that for sure. It has some green on the front when you have the phone closed, and you can see the bezel on there, so that's pretty cool. You get up to $760 in trade-in value. So I was trading in my Pixel 9 Pro Fold, so I got $760. And it's not immediate though, so you're gonna pay all of it up front, and then once they realize that your trade-in's in good, then you'll get the $760 refunded back to your credit card. You get $800 off for the Pixel 10 Pro Fold with $300 off instantly, and $500 back over 24 monthly bill credits when you join Google Fi. So you have that option. And some other things about this phone: it's an 8-inch Super Actual Flex display, their largest yet. You get the most advanced AI on the planet with Pixel. The amazing Pixel camera folded in can handle 10 plus years of folding. That's ridiculous. That's a lot of folding. Next gen chip for peak AI performance. Let me see if there's anything else that stood out to me here as well. 6.4-inch display. We've talked about a lot of this. IP68 dust and water resistance. All of that was true. See here what happens when you unfold. All right, so let's talk about the pre-order. So if you go into the pre-order, you can choose what color you want. They're both the same color. Both of them come in, well, only the Moonstone comes in 1 terabyte. The green does not, only comes in 256 and 512. You can get Moonstone 256, 512, or 1 terabyte. Pricing starts at $17.99. So expensive, but it's cheaper than the Galaxy Z Fold 7. And the goes up to $21.49. So it's expensive, but whatever. It's kind of what you expect with a folding phone these days. Next up, you can get it unlocked or with a carrier, at least on Google's site. Verizon would be the other carrier. It doesn't look like, I don't think it's coming on AT&T if I'm not mistaken. I might be mistaken on that, but at least on Google's site, it's only through Google Fi, Verizon, or Unlocked. I got Unlocked on there. Then you can trade in your phone up to $760, which is pretty good. Depending upon what phone you have, I don't even know if they take. Let me see if they take a Galaxy Z Fold phone. Yeah, they do. They'll give you a Galaxy Z Fold 6, 625, which is crazy because that's still a great phone. Let me see if they give you more. No matter what storage size you have on the Galaxy Z Fold 6, $625 would be the max. You think they would give maybe even more than they do for their other phones, but they're not, because you think they'd want those people to switch over. I don't know. They just want people to trade in that have their own phone and get the best value for that, but whatever. Beyond that, you can get Pixel Care Plus for $16 a month or $299. And you can get Pixel Care Plus with loss and theft for $18 a month or $399 total. So I didn't do any protection on there. You do get this. You get Google AI Pro for 12 months with your Pixel phone, which is a great value. I use Gemini quite a bit. I use more ChatGPT for sure now, but I love having both because sometimes you like one over the other for something that you're doing. And having that for a free full year, because usually that's $20 a month. And that's, you get Google AI Pro, you get 2 terabytes of total storage, which I use anyway. I love that. You get Gemini in your Gmail and Docs. You get Notebook, LM, 5x more audio overviews, and the Gemini app obviously as well for the Pro version. So it's pretty nice. And the phone ships, says free delivery, at least where I live, October 9th or October 10th. So it's everything we kind of thought about the phone came in and rang true. The price is very close to what I had speculated at. The phone has all the same specs and everything that we expected with it. So overall, it looks like, it's definitely a good, solid upgrade over the previous generation. Is it worthwhile to upgrade from that previous generation? Probably not unless you want the latest and greatest, but it's still a fairly nice upgrade in performance and stuff like that. We have a really big leak with the tri-folding phone from Samsung. A bunch of information has been leaked out, and this is exclusive features that will be included in Samsung's One UI 8, specifically for their tri-folding device. These features are designed to take advantage of the unique 3-panel design of the new phone. So let's get into it. First of all, is there 3-app parallel split screen where it will allow users be able to run 3 applications simultaneously side by side for an enhanced multitasking experience. This feature, reportedly called Split Trio, I love the name, will allow users to save combinations of 3 apps to the home screen, taskbar, and edge panel. So obviously you can run 3 apps now, but they're not side by side. So having that big wide display, you're gonna be able to do that now on this tri-folding phone. Because you can do 2 on the Galaxy Z Fold 7, no problemo. And it's taking advantage of that tri-folding device. Bam, 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 3 apps all at once. It's a bit much. You know, I can see it being kind of helpful with, like, if you have 3 open, maybe having one as your video app, like you're on a video chat, one being a work one, and then one for notes, or 2 for work and then 1 for video, or that your video you're watching, or a video chat that you're in, or a chat, and whatever. You can think of multiple things you might want to do with it. It could be for fun or for work. But regardless, it's still freaking cool. I love it. Enhanced cover screen mirroring. The cover screen mirror feature, already present in current Galaxy Foldables is getting an upgrade. On the Tri-Fold device, the content of 3 home screens from the cover screen will be mirrored onto the larger internal screen, allowing for a more seamless transition and improved productivity. So you'll be able to, when you have the phone completely open, you can have 3 home screens in one display on that main display. So that's pretty cool. I can see that again coming in handy so you don't have to cycle through where an app might be on your home screens. If you're a fan of having your app set up like an Apple iPhone where all your apps basically sit on the home screen, you can do that and be able to see basically all your apps most likely or nearly close to it. Now it's going to have a G-shaped fold. Leaked animation suggests that the Tri-Fold device will feature a G-shaped fold with 2 inward folding hinges. This is different from the S-shaped fold seen on other foldable devices. And we've heard about this, that it folds a little bit different than other traditional foldable phones that have already been in the market from Huawei and other companies. So I'll have to obviously wait and see how this works out and how it feels. I haven't even felt personally the Huawei one, so I'm curious to see which one I would end up liking better. But Samsung's usually smart about the way they design stuff and the way things work. So I would be kind of surprised if the way they have this set up in terms of the way you fold it and use it would be something I wouldn't like. Updated animation. The leak also includes new animations that show how the Tri-Fold device will work, including how to properly fold and unfold the device to avoid damage. It's kind of funny. So it obviously showing animations that show how it works, not animations in terms of like, oh, this is so much faster opening and closing apps. It's actually basically videos that show how it's going to open and close. And I don't want to show that stuff because I think it's internal leak stuff, and I don't want to get in trouble with copyrights. Codename Multifold 7. The animation files refer to the device as Multifold 7, which is believed to be an internal codename. The final product may be launched under a different name, with the Galaxy G Fold being one of the rumored possibilities, which we've heard, Galaxy G Fold. Software. The Tri-Fold device is expected to run on Android 16 and One UI 8 and will likely receive 7 major OS updates from Android. These new features suggest that Samsung is focusing on creating a unique and product user experience for its first tri-folding smartphone. The device is expected to be officially announced later this year. So later this year, launch and release date, potentially only in China and Korea, which is what we've been hearing. Galaxy G Fold, a nearly 10-inch display when it's completely opened up. A lot to be excited about this. If it comes out here, it's definitely a device I want to try. I don't know if I'd make it my main device. Obviously, it's rumored to be very expensive, like $3,000, maybe even more than that. I saw this post on Reddit, and it's their first foldable phone, and they're deciding if they should go with the Galaxy Z Fold 7 or the Pixel 10 Pro Fold. And I wanted to go through their pluses and minuses and give them an answer on what I think they should decide between these two phones. So first of all, they mentioned that the Galaxy Z Fold 7's upsides anyway are going to be that it has a better CPU, which is totally true. Snapdragon 8 Elite is much better than the Tensor G5 in terms of raw performance, better for overall life of this device, like just much better, way more powerful. Tensor G5 will never catch up to that. Also, it has the weight difference, 43 grams less at 215 versus 258. It's slimmer when it's folded, 2 millimeters less and 8.9 millimeters instead of 10 millimeters, and also better cameras in pixels. So when you look at the Galaxy Z Fold 7 in terms of getting the 200 megapixel camera, the main selling points, at least in his eyes, are the better CPU, which is going to be better for performance gaming, video editing, photo editing, day-to-day usage, and longevity of the device. Don't forget that. The more powerful processor you have, the better it is for longevity. The weight difference, which these devices are most likely, even from Pixel, over the next handful of years, are going to be that they are a lot less in weight. Then you also have to factor in that slimmer. Then you have to factor in that the cameras are higher megapixel, and cameras could always be improved, especially on phones with better software. If any camera company or phone company can show you, it's Pixel that can show you that, updated, really great algorithmic software really makes a difference with cameras. And who's to say that even though Samsung's megapixels are higher, who's to say that they won't consistently improve their camera software over the years? Now, I do want to add into this that if you read the article, his last phone lasted 6 years, and he hopes to use the Fold for 4+ years, and the 7 years of Android updates is very much welcome to him. Also, let's go on to the Pixel 10 Pro Fold, because for him, the pluses are that it has 16 gigs of RAM instead of 12, which is totally true, but you can get a 16 gigabyte version of the Fold 7 if you get the 1 terabyte. And if you're going to keep it that long, might as well get the 1 terabyte, right? Then you have the 5,000 milliamp battery instead of 4,400 on the Fold 7. So a bigger battery should get better battery life in general. Qi 2 wireless charging, 25 watts instead of 15 on the Z Fold 7. I like that one because I'm not a big wireless charger, but if I were to take advantage of that all the time, it would be really, really cool to have 25 watt built in there. It's going to charge a lot faster than the 15 watt. Then you have the Bluetooth 6.0 instead of 5.4 as Bluetooth matures and new things are added within it. Having Bluetooth 6.0 is probably going to make more sense. I'll be honest, I don't know a lot about the differences and the features of 6.0 versus 5.4, but they will happen and they will be, obviously, there's more bandwidth most likely and better quality and features behind it. Built-in Pixel Snap MagSafe, aka it's going to have the magnets built in to the back of the phone without any case, a specific case being needed for that. Now, let's break this down. I will wholeheartedly admit, I think the Fold 7 is the better buy for a 4+ year device. It has more power. The power is going to mature better over that time than the Pixel Fold 10, especially, I'm assuming we're probably going to start to get more AAA games, especially with Qualcomm Snapdragon pushing their own mobile processors to get more AAA games like Grand Theft Auto and other games like that. It's just going to happen. You're going to need that raw performance. So it makes sense if you're a gamer and a person that needs to edit things that are heavy duty pictures and video editing and anything else, AI tasks, you're going to want the processor that's more powerful. That is the Fold 7. The better design, aka lighter and slimmer, Fold 7, and that's over the life term of that is going to make that phone feel futuristic. It's still 4 years later, whereas Pixel 10 Pro Fold is probably going to feel a little ancient at that point when these phones probably get a lot slimmer with bigger batteries and all of that. And then you factor in that the cameras, I love the Fold 7. Yeah, I said right, Fold 7 cameras. I think they're really good. And you can always improve stuff or change colorings if you don't like it with editing, which is a pain in the butt sometimes. But if you're into that, it's not going to make a big deal. Now, Pixel 10 Pro Fold, I don't want to put it down. It's not a slouch by any stretch of the imagination. I love that it has the Qi 2 25 watt wireless charging. I love that it has built-in magnets. The built-in magnets you can work around that. I have magnets in this case. This case is super thin and has hinge protection. I'm currently using the Banks case, and I love that ultimately it has the magnets built into it so I can take advantage of those features, even though they're not built into the Fold 7. So you can bypass that, and that wouldn't end up being a huge buying point. Now, 5,000 milliamp battery having more than the 4,400 on the Fold 7, that potentially could be a big issue. Obviously, Fold 7, depending upon who you are, I get about 5 hours-ish of screen on time. Some people get more than that. I don't know what boat you'd be in, but ultimately, I think that is a big factor. But to be fair, you can always charge pretty much anywhere. You can wirelessly charge, you can bring a battery with you, you can charge at an outlet, whatever you want to do, and you can do that with both phones. So I wouldn't hang too much fruit on that 600 milliamps more. I don't think it's going to make a massive difference in battery life versus the two phones. And if you're going to keep these phones for that long, I think you have to go with the Fold 7, like I mentioned. I think there's enough on there that it shows that it's the clear-cut winner for you as a user. Let me know your thoughts on this. Do you think I'm wrong? If I'm wrong, why I'm wrong? Or do you agree with me? Let me know in the comments down below. Have a great day, and we'll see you guys down the road. Peace.